It's time for the show that engages with people of the combat sports world. And now, presenting the reigning, defending, undisputed combat sports show champion of the world, Flash Knockdown.
So at this point, Marlon, you're now 4-0 with 4 finishes and hardly taken any damage in the process. UKFC comes calling, offering you a title fight at UKFC 8 in Preston against James Williams, someone 9 years your senior. By accepting that fight, did it demonstrate your confidence at the time, but also how far you had come?
Yeah, to be honest, if I was that young, like if it was 17, just turned 17, I think, and not being funny, if you're asking a 17-year-old to fight someone who's 25 or whatever for the belt, one of the best shows at the time, don't know, then you I've obviously made a bit of a name for myself at that time, and yeah, there was confidence in the fight, like going into the fight with confidence, we weren't worried, and it was at the weight above as well, it was a flyweight then, so yeah, we was in Marbella like 2 weeks before in the training with Brad Pickett and Lee Barnett as well at the college, so got some training out there, it was good, and got back, probably needed to do it at Bantam, to be honest, because would have been scratched properly, strictly dieting, it was all but he was training, you know what I mean, so yeah, it was good.
Yeah.
With a little learning curve, that fight.
Yeah, and I mean, not only was there the age difference, but also if you watched his last fight at UKFC 7 against Chris Whitehead, he got that devastating knockout. Not sure if you remember.
Yeah, that got a proper like heavy knockout in that fight, didn't he?
Devastating knockout, left punch.
Yeah, I remember watching that. It didn't really worry me though, to be honest, because I remember watching that fight thinking everything that he's doing then he couldn't do to me anyway. So like that's the thing as well when you're watching
17,
fights,
you're thinking like this at 17. Man, your levels.
Fights, you know what I mean? When even now, if I'm watching opponents, then you can see, he's done this good, but you're thinking, where would he actually get the chance to do that fighting me? You know what I mean? So
wow,
I don't know. It weren't really that worrying, but. And I remember at one point in the fight, I think I had a little flashback madness go through your head when you're fighting. But at one point, I remember grabbing onto his leg, wrestling. I was thinking, "Fuck, this was like nearly what happened to the other kid that came out of this position. Like he comes up and then he gets sparked, right. But obviously never happened. But yeah, some craziness was going through my head in that fight. I remember thinking about Tyron Woodley until when I was going for the Anaconda and everything. Like just some, I don't know. Your head goes everywhere, especially in a long fight, and it was 5 rounds. When you're that tired, it's crazy one. Boss fight though.
It really was, yeah. And as you just said there, Marlon, the fight itself went the full 5-round distance and was action-packed throughout, even in the dying seconds where you were trying to secure the Anaconda choke. Is it fair to say that you learned more in that fight than your previous 4 fights put together?
Yeah, too right. I actually remember in the first round, like I remember I've ended up on his back like early on in the first round. And I'm thinking to myself, whoa, not again. Like I remember thinking this MMA is too easy. What's going on? Like easy. Thinking, am I able to choke him out here? What's going on? And then obviously it never happened and it went a bit west. But again, it was a boss fight. It was back and forth. Anyone that watches it, like they weren't like a clear winner, was they? So. Yeah, I enjoyed that fight, and I don't think it's over, to be honest. I reckon me and him might fight again one day. We've had words at shows and that, so it's got potential. It's just about the weights now. I think he's went back down flyweight, but I was a flyweight when I fought him, so he can fight me up on something. Makes sense.
Yeah, and that was the first time.
I was 9 years younger.
True, and that was the first time, Marlon, that we saw you in trouble when he trapped you in his guillotine.
Yeah, you know what? I've got a picture on my phone where the cameraman getting my feet are lifted off the floor. I'm hanging by my neck. I remember just thinking, I'm not tapping here. It was tight. I would say that probably gassed me a lot for the fight as well. Like you see, as soon as he got out of that, I'm just as apt. But it was horrible. It was horrible. Looking at it, you know, the cameraman, he goes, "Oh, he got out with no respect, wasn't it, vertebrae?" So it's crazy. Like, I didn't really snap my spine on it, but I prefer that than tapping in there. Got out and showing some serious heart in it.
Wow. And unsurprisingly, Marlon, the contest was awarded Fight of the Night. Despite losing the decision, is that a fight you can look back on and still feel immensely satisfied?
Now I can, like, yeah. But
Yeah.
like, obviously,
At the
when
time,
it was fresh,
you
yeah,
were
I
wounded.
remember being in the back. Yeah, I remember being in the back, like, just like dead on the floor. I couldn't even see straight. Like see, I was tired in that fight. Like you see, as soon as the raise on, just go and sit down in the corner and just stuck there and get carried out by my coaches. I remember him. He threw up after the fight. Actually, as soon as you get out of the cage in the back. But I was that tired. I didn't even notice him throwing up. I thought it was someone else. I just walked past him like knackered, and then I'm lying on the mat and one of the promoters, he came over and threw money at me and I was like, "What's that for?" He's like, "Fighting nice." I remember telling him, "Nah, leave him." I didn't want it at the time, but you know, it's good now.
That's why you need a manager.
I got what you need.
But looking back at it now, when I watch the fight myself, I cringe at a lot of things because I'm like, "Oh, why did I do that? Why did I do that?" But it happens, and you just didn't know
You're
things at the
17.
time.
You're 17.
Yeah, so
Exactly.
I've made improvements in it, and obviously he has himself, but
Yeah.
there's a lot of mistakes that I made in that fight. Like I jumped for the back a lot because again I got all these naked choke finishes, so I think I was just a bit happy to jump on his back, and you see him diving for the back when his ass is in the sky and I'm falling just straight away, and like I'm watching thinking, why did I do that? But obviously it comes with time, doesn't it? That's why it was so early on in my career. And he actually turned pro after that fight. That was just like the middle of my amateur career. So
yeah, there you go. There you go. Absolutely. And then 6 weeks later, Marlon, and as scheduled, the rematch with JJ Jones is next for your flyweight title at Cage Warriors Northwest Academy 4 in Liverpool. It was great matchmaking with you and Liam defending your belts against JJ and his teammates, Curtis Campbell. A build-up that JJ certainly appreciated.
It just felt like there was quite a good build-up. A lot of people knew about the fight was going to happen, and afterwards it was like Curtis, my teammate, was fighting Liam, who obviously is friends with Marlon, and me and Curtis are friends. So it's kind of like me and Curtis were in trying to get the belts. They were defending it. It was very cool. Like it was set out very like set up very well.
How much were you looking forward to this one at the time, Marlon?
Yeah, that was a good one. I remember it. I just wanted to get back to winning ways. To be honest, after that, I fell off, didn't it? But I don't know, I just went crazy. Once it's to prove everyone wrong again. Once everyone sees that you've had your first loss in it, they start looking away and just like, "Oh, you mustn't be that good," you know what I mean? But yeah, I remember I had that fight. To be honest, I just thought I'd smoke JJ this one. Like after the last one, I thought, yeah, I've got well better. And thought I was going to smoke him, and then get to the fight, and he put up a lot harder fight than I expected. Like I won the first two, and then he definitely won the last round. But again, I think I've spoke about it with my coaches now, and like I think because of that James Williams fight, I probably put a lot of pressure on myself, and then going into the JJ fight, even though we planned a lot of things and like take your time now because you see him in this fight, you got tired, whatever. I just went all out again. You know what I mean? I just went trying to take his head off because I wanted it to look like this big flashy spectacle knockout. You know what I mean, or whatever. And I was expecting a lot from myself, and then when you put too much pressure on it, sometimes it just doesn't go your way. Obviously, I won the fight, but I don't know, that probably was one of my least favourite performances. But again, JJ showing a lot of improvements that fight, and then yeah, he pulled it back from himself. Yeah, gained a lot of respect for me that day, JJ. Like,
absolutely.
He had his pro debut not so long ago as well.
Yeah,
in
Thailand.
Yeah, he's doing well for himself, isn't he?
Very well for himself. Yeah, no, he's a good lad, JJ. And you may not have enjoyed it, but we certainly did. It was another epic encounter, Marlon, which went the full 5-round distance with you winning it via...
That was just a 3-rounder. That was 3.
Oh, was it 3-rounder, not 5?
Yeah, because it was the junior one. Like, I remember there was being confusion on the day.
Yes.
So like, in the camp, I got told that it was 3 rounds. And then someone's mentioned that it was 5 rounds on the day. I'm like, what's going on here? And then spoke to the promoters and he confirmed it was 3 rounds. Like, man, Liam's fight that day was 3 rounds.
3 rounds.
Yeah. But,
Yeah, because he went the distance as well against Curtis.
Yeah, I think so.
Yeah, he did.
Good.
Yeah,
that was a good day for us. Like,
very good day. Yeah, you both went home with your belts.
Yeah, good.
It was good. And so, yeah, you won it via unanimous decision, and both of you received a standing ovation. It was a rematch that lived up to the hype. Wouldn't you agree with that, Marlon?
Yeah, definitely. JJ showing big improvements and probably showing up better than the hype. To be honest, people probably wouldn't have expected that in that fight, and
No,
he brought it. Like,
yeah, he did. So we now head in to 2019, Marlon. And correct me if I'm wrong, weren't you selected for Team England at the Junior European IMAF in Rome, but was forced out due to a shoulder injury? If so, how did you fancy your chances of gold? And does missing the IMAF tournament represent your biggest regrets from the amateurs?
yeah, I did get selected for it. Like, I was wounded, paid for everything, paid for my fights, paid for. IMAX isn't cheap. Like, it's a big money making thing, really. And like, you'd have to pay about 600 quid to even fight in the tournament before you paid your flights and your accommodation and everything. So paid all that, and then it went too long before the fight. And then, but it was insane, and basically fell on my shoulder. Long story short, and it was sort of my AC joint. I can't remember the exact thing, but I remember just as soon as it happened, it just like it's like I hit white. Like, I started sweating on the mat. Like, it weren't even. It was only early on in the session. I started sweating. I went dead pale, and then I went straight to doctors, and then the hospital. Sorry, and it was in a sling for a few days, and then had to get loads of physio on it. But again, coming up to it, it was like 3 weeks out, so he was still a slight chance, and then I think you just realise it's not happening. Like, there's no way. But I still went over and watched it because obviously I've paid for everything anyway. So went over and watched it. It was a good experience. Like, but as you said about whether it being like my biggest regret at my amateur career, not really, to be honest. Because
No.
I don't know what would be my biggest regret, to be honest. But I'm a attraction for me, to be honest. It would have been good because you're getting a lot of experience within a week and that. But I'd say you can probably get better fights over here. You know what I mean? Better opponents. Like, there was a few people having their debuts in the IMAFs that I've seen, and it's kind of like, why would we be fighting them? But again, it's a different format, isn't it? Like, for your fight, it's more like a competition more than anything. Like, where you're fighting multiple times, and you can't. With my fights, but I always come out injured. I can't even walk the next day, so it's probably a better idea anyway, because I just give it me all. You know what I mean? With the IMAFs, if you're a wrestler, like, that's probably the main reason why it suits him more perfectly, because he's a wrestler. You'll take that much damage wrestling, you know what I mean? Obviously, he's got to get it off himself in the fight, but with my style, it probably wouldn't have suited me the best. And as I said, you can probably get better fights over here. Like, I know a lot of people who didn't go there, and they're leading it now, you know what I mean? Like, they're leading MMA in the UK.
Yeah.
And how did Liam did it as well. Liam on the IMAX, he had a good experience there.
In Dubai, was it? Abu Dhabi? With Teddy?
I can't even remember it. No, it went Dubai.
Bahrain.
Yeah.
With Teddy.
Yeah, that's when he met him. But it was a good experience meeting a lot of people though. Like, met one of my mates, Jay. He's from Ireland.
Yeah, Harris.
I met him over there the first time. I met even Lexi. She's in our gym now, Lexi and Brooke. And
yeah.
I met her over there the first time. There's a lot of people that I met over there, and it's good. And you can develop a lot of things.
Was she not? Was she not? No, she wasn't. She was living down south at the time.
Yeah. She was living down south. Me and Dean I went over with Dean, obviously, and I think he just made a big impression on a lot of the fighters there. He was stepping in the culture, and he's loud and Dean, so you know everyone took a liking to him and scene. I think he kind of had the scene, like, the levels to it. Down south, like, you got a few good fighters down south. If you got Brad Pickett's gym, that's good, but the levels are like, some gyms aren't the best. So I feel like once you get up north, there's a lot more talent, like between here and Manchester, stuff like that. So don't know where's Leeds. Is Leeds down south or is that down up
No,
here?
Leeds is up north.
Up in the
That's
middle.
Danny Mitchell.
Yeah, like that's got a lot of high level. Like I feel like the talent's just a lot more up north rather than down south in England. Sorry, and obviously Lexi made that move, and a few other people have in the past as well moved to our gym and changed the life to
Yeah.
suit the sport. You know what I mean? So yeah, it just shows.
Yeah.
Meeting them people. If we probably didn't go the IMAS, we wouldn't have met Lexi, and Lexi wouldn't be at our gym.
Crazy.
You know what I mean? So yeah.
Despite it not being your biggest regret in the amateurs, what do you think you could have done at the Europeans? Do you think you could have gone all the way, Marlon?
Yeah, it would have been funny
Yeah.
though, because me and Mo was in the same bracket, like the same division. So
Oh, for
that would have been
real?
interesting, like, wouldn't it? Yeah, I'm with teammates. You know what I mean? We was
Team England.
even at the time. We was team. No, he was even in Aspire at the time. You know what I mean? So
No, but he was representing Team England, no?
yeah, he was representing Team England, but I was still put in the same bracket as him, and I've been coming up to it in the same brackets. But like, I think the brackets got released a few weeks earlier, and then obviously I had to pull out. But yeah, we would have been fighting each other probably in the
For
final.
real?
That would have been a mad one, wouldn't it?
Whoa! And he was at Aspire at the time, no?
Yeah, that's what I mean. That's why if he just fought in England, then he wouldn't be asked then. Like, but,
Yeah, of course. He's just another body.
yeah, but he was actual training partner. Like, we trained together for that. So that would have been a mad little situation. But you know, would have just dealt with it at the time. Never ended up having to happen. So it's one of them.
Rah. Okay, man. I'm
Things could have been
learning
different.
Yeah, I'm learning lots and lots. This is why interviews like this needs to happen, and questions like mine leads to answers like yours.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? Nice. Okay. So Marlon, we flash forwards to your featherweight title clash versus episode 18 guest George Saints Staines, a fight that we all know you took on short notice and stepping up a weight class too. He vaguely knew who you were at the time.
So I know, I was like, where do I know that name? I was on the phone to Sam, I was like, where do I know that name from? I was like, oh yeah, he's fighting for the Almighty Bantamweight Championship 2 weeks after me. So I was like, oh, okay, I'll just fight him.
What did you know about him?
I don't even think I knew anything about him, to be honest. Like, literally just about the face of him on the poster. I didn't really look into too much. I think I fought not too long before that, actually. I can't remember who that was. I remember I fought, and then I had that one like a few weeks later, and then I had the other Almighty one like a few weeks after that. So it was like, I think I had like 3 fights within like 2 months or 3 months. But I remember I wanted it because I hadn't fought like the first half of that year because of my shoulder injury and because of a few other things. So I was happy. I think I had that first fight. I can't even remember who it was against. Whoever I fought anyway, I won that. And then Phil rang me like a week later and he was like, do you want to take this? And then I ended up taking it. I probably shouldn't have took it. There was a lot of things going, like, that was a lot of factors in the fight. Anyway, I'm not going to sit here and make excuses. Shit happens. But like, weren't the best decision making, but took the fight. And then again, even in the fight, it weren't the best decision making. And as you said on the little write up, that he just wanted to close the distance straight away. I haven't seen his podcast with you, but
It was to clinch up with him quite early on. Because we knew it was one thing that we knew he might have over me. Not necessarily have over me, but we know he was going to be very springy. He was like, nullify that first round, get it out of the bag, and clinch with him. Because I knew I was going to be bigger than him. Get him tied on the cage, get him tied in the clinch. So when he's on the feet, when we're striking with him, he's less springy and less in and out of range, so I can hit him easier. And I feel like I executed that very well.
I remember as soon as the fight started, he touched us and he grabbed me straight away. I was like, what's going on? You know what I mean? But it happened, he fought the game plan well. And again, in that fight, even, like, I probably rushed again a little bit. Like, I didn't take time to settle. You see when I'm on the cage, like, up and down, up and down, up and down, trying to take him down. But I don't know, shit happens. He's a tall kid as well. And you never looking at him thinking, whoa, what's going on here? But, you know, he got the finish, didn't he? And yeah. That was that. I was wounded, like, that was out of town as well. But yeah, well, it happens, doesn't it? Can't complain about it.
No, nothing you can do about it. It's all experience. And just to go full circle, so you were George's last minute opponent because his original opponent pulled out due to injury. Can you guess who that was?
That was that Mins, was it?
That was Dan Mins.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Mad.
Yeah, because he lost a decision the month before at Shogun MMA, and I think what George explained was that he didn't want to take on another fight so soon after that loss, and hence why he pulled out. And yeah, unfortunately, the
That can
same
be the
happened to
problem
you.
a lot of the time. When like
Yes.
people take fights before the fight
Yes.
that's scheduled, it
Correct.
can be annoying. Obviously, I end up doing it with that exact George fight, but it still came through and forth. Like that was again, it was a lot of discussion. Like with my uncle, he was fuming with me on a tough to fight, but at that time, it was just no mind for him. It was like I want to get as many fights in as I can. I haven't fought for this long, and like the year's nearly over. You know what I mean? It was like what was it, October or something? Like the year's nearly finished,
October. Yeah.
and so I might as well take it. And I took the fight, and again, obviously lost, but I weren't injured or nothing off it. I just got choked in it, one of them. I don't even think there was any striking like, in the fight, was there really? Yeah, that was that. Not much I can think about that one.